Boom, chakalaka. Alright, so a few updates before I was about to leave for the day. Today is March 16th. 2021. I've had a lot go on the past couple weeks. Constant shooting, constant editing, although we have a lot more help now. We have Joe editing with us and Ellie and working together to bust out that content. So yeah, I believe it was the last vlog. I discussed how we did a massage chair shoot where the actor Tony sat in the chair. The massage chair leans back, does its thing, and then as the chair comes back up, we have a younger version of himself, lo and behold. So we ended up putting most of the thought into the setup of the actual set itself for the video. We had Corey come and she brought a ton of props to make it look like a senior citizen's home, and then we brought the chair in and we had a very brief storyboard, but
losing his mind.
Lo and behold, didn't really account for how the morph would take place. I figured I would cut away to some other shot of the chair, and then when we cut back, we would see Thomas, the younger version of Tony, already morphed. Eventually someone watching over my shoulder while I was editing said, "Where's the morphing shot?" And it turns out to really sell this particular video, it helps to have that morphing transition to see the old into the young. So first I had to find two shots that could work because we had already taken down the entire set the next day, so there was nothing really we could do. But going through the footage, it just so happened I had two shots that lined up enough where I can morph them into one. So in After Effects, using a combination of the liquify tool and opacity, it's a combination of the two, is tracing the features from shot one, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, and following those features and warping them into the next shot as the opacity decreases. It became difficult towards the last few milliseconds of the shot, but it was a decent result considering I did not even account for this particular shot taking place. All in all, if you're looking for a cool morphing effect, definitely use the liquify tool in After Effects. And there's different ways to adjust the opacity so that it ends sooner or later, depending on the shot. Another shoot that we had last week, which was an idea someone had of a stressed out office worker, is just typing away on the computer. Everything in the background's moving really fast and he can't think, and there's ringing and fax machines and this and that. Fax machines, it's 2021. So the idea was to have him close his eyes, and then when he reopens his eyes, he's in a new environment that's total relaxation and bliss. So I quickly came up with the idea to throw a pop-up green screen behind our actor. So Ellie was our talent for the day and he did a great job. So it's actually a couple of shots separately. We had Ellie in the foreground with the green screen behind him typing away, looking over his shoulder, reacting to the background. Then I got a background shot without Ellie in it. I grabbed a bunch of colleagues and we just ran back and forth and walked back and forth for I think 5 minutes, and then that was enough to speed up the background. You got your two separate elements, bada boom, bada bing. You have Ellie in the foreground, chaos in the background, worked out great. And then we had Corey build this set upstairs in our studio. The look we were going for with this set was like an upscale living room with high ceilings and tall windows. It would have been too time consuming to search for talent and Airbnb a mansion somewhere to do this, so Corey and Tony had the great idea of using 1x3s and just making frames. And then Corey brought, I believe it's rice paper, 3-foot wide rolls of rice paper that act as diffusion for our lights behind the windows, and when you blow it out, it looks like an overexposed shot looking outside, and it looks really awesome and modern and clean. So that was the second half of the video. When Ellie opens his eyes, he's in this blissful, relaxing, quiet environment, and it just works so well. We had the chair by itself, which is a beautiful chair, and we really wanted the scenery to reflect that. Using the Edelkrone slider, I went to work and captured all different parts of the chair and all the different features of the chair. You have air compression and heat and the rollers and the reclining. Now the Edelkrone slider, it is an awesome tool, although it's really expensive.
Ew.
And I think it's a great product. It's a great machine. The software is great. The app is great. The only problem I've had with it is the focusing module. I always have issues getting it to work. I've tried recalibrating the lens. But for things like time lapse and just smooth panning and dollying shots, it's really great. And if you calibrate the camera right, it comes out butter smooth and it looks fantastic. So the last thing that's going on here, and this is really cool. So I'm gonna try to keep this brief because I gotta cut this quick. We were tasked with shooting a lot of sunglasses in a very short amount of time, which is totally cool, totally fine. So the question is, how do you do it? How, during this pandemic, do we get talent and we get locations for sunglasses which have to be outside, and it's March, it's cold out still. So we ordered a projector, 7,000 lumens, 1080p, that should be bright enough, I'm thinking, for video and photo. Wasn't as bright as we thought it would be. It's really bright and really clear, but for what we needed to, didn't work. We axed that. So we had an 85-inch TV here in the studio that was used on some trade show that I've mounted onto a mobile stand so it could wheel it around the studio. I used my laptop and played images on the TV, and we did some test shots of using this TV as a background. And it works great. You have a lit display which potentially lights the back of your subject if they're close enough to it. And if you're working on green screen, while shooting glasses or anything transparent or clear, you're gonna lose a lot of detail and definition. So by using a TV, you get this awesome effect. As long as you blur out the background, it is more than enough of a convincing effect to sell the shot. It's actually how they shot The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, is they're using these giant wraparound LCD panels, and these backgrounds are bright enough to reflect light back onto the subject, giving you spill and light wrap around your subject, which blends and makes it look more convincing. As long as you open up the lens, you're going to blur out that background, and you're not going to see any pixels or screen door effect. You would think it's tacky and low budget, but it actually works out really good. And now we're going to potentially look into solutions to get a large LCD for future shoots. The photos so far have come out amazing. No retouching yet, but it's all going to look fantastic. So that's what's been going on at the studio. There's a lot to talk about. Hopefully I can get another video out next week and explain further. See, with digital nowadays, anything is possible. You just got to use that noggin. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. See you next time.